You've built a life that most people look at and call impressive. The title, the income, the competence that fills every room you walk into. On paper, you have done everything right. And yet, late at night after he's asleep, you lie there replaying the argument from Tuesday, the one you explained clearly, logically, and somehow still walked away feeling small. He is not your intellectual equal. You know this. You knew it within the first month. And still, here you are. This isn't a story about bad luck. It's about something much more specific, something that has a name. And once you hear it, you won't be able to unsee it. You are, by most measures, exceptional. You solve problems before other people notice they exist. You read rooms. You've been told repeatedly that you are the most capable person they've ever worked with. And then you go home, or you scroll through his texts, and you feel yourself shrink, almost imperceptibly, to make space for him to feel like enough. You soften your vocabulary when you talk about your day. You ask about his. You don't mention the promotion because something in you already knows it will land wrong. He isn't cruel. He doesn't put you down in obvious ways. But he also doesn't challenge you, doesn't push back on your ideas, doesn't make you think. And here's the part that keeps you awake. You chose him. The question isn't why you haven't left. The question is why you stayed in the first place, why this pattern keeps appearing, even as every other area of your life climbs higher. If that hits somewhere specific, drop a 1 in the comments. You'd be surprised how many people are watching this thinking the exact same thing. What you're experiencing has a name. Psychologists call it the mirror effect, a pattern where highly competent people unconsciously select partners who reflect their hidden insecurities. Externally, you perform excellence. Internally, there is a quieter, older story running. A belief formed long before your career that you are too much, too intense, too capable, that fully showing up, your actual intelligence, your actual ambition, will make you untouchable. So something in you selects a partner who cannot challenge that fear, someone whose limitations give you something to manage, to explain, to fix. Because the overthinking psychology of a high achiever doesn't stop at the office. It runs projections and risk assessments on your relationships the same way it runs them on everything else. And the safest partner for an anxious, overachieving mind is one who will never make you feel like you have something to lose. Dr. Susan Nolen-Hoeksema found that high-functioning overthinkers use mental busyness as a form of control, the replaying, the rehearsing. It creates the illusion that nothing can surprise you. A predictable partner is part of that system. Someone below your capacity doesn't threaten the architecture. Psychologists call it project-based attachment, when fixing someone else is more comfortable than facing yourself. The mirror isn't showing you someone lesser. It's showing you the version of yourself you still don't fully believe in. In a moment, I'm going to trace where this came from, and it might be the most important piece of this. Think back, not to your first relationship, further back than that, to the environment where you first learned what it meant to be capable. Maybe you were the child who held things together when the adults couldn't. You were applauded for your capability. You were needed for it. And you learned early that your competence was your value. Fully needing someone, being the one who required care, wasn't available to you. And so you became the one who didn't need things, who managed, who was fine. Being with someone who needs you is the one dynamic that feels familiar enough to call love, because love, in your earliest experience, was wrapped up in usefulness, in showing up, in being the capable one, the partner who challenges you, who sees you clearly. That person is actually the more frightening option, because with them, you have nothing to manage. And without something to manage, you have to just be there. But here's the part I want to be honest with you about. This pattern cost you something real. It cost you the experience of being genuinely known by someone who can hold all of you. You were not wrong to build what you built. The competence, the self-sufficiency, that was intelligence. That was survival. But the emergency is over. And the relationship patterns that served that emergency, they're still running. You didn't settle because you didn't know your worth. You settled because being fully chosen felt more dangerous than being needed. Drop an 8 in the comments if this is the first time someone has put words to this for you. When did you first learn that being needed was safer than being loved? And do you know where that started? If this stayed with you, our next video goes even deeper. The psychology of women who are always the most emotionally intelligent person in the room, and what it costs them. Watch it next.